Well, new fallout today after reports claim that senior Vatican officials are upset with the White House guest list of those who will greet Pope Francis at his welcome ceremony on Wednesday. Those invited include the first openly gay Episcopalian bishop, transgendered and gay rights activists, including those who have protested this pope, and supporters of President Obama's health care law, which was criticized by many Catholics for its violations against church teachings on contraception. Today, the White House spokesman Josh Earnest denied any dispute with the Holy See. Take a look.
Did the White House go about inviting people to this ceremony to reflect sort of a broad diversity instead of just Catholics who might agree with one particular set of policies?
The White House planned a ceremony that would ensure that Pope Francis would receive the kind of warm welcome that reflects the kind of warm feelings that 300 million Americans have about him and his leadership.
Joining me now, Republican presidential candidates Governor Christie, Governor Mike Huckabee, also here. We're going to start with Governor Huckabee tonight. Governor Huckabee, you are not happy with that guest list. Tell us why.
Megyn, if I were hosting a group of Alcoholics Anonymous, I wouldn't set up an open bar. If you're going to host the Pope,
policy.
For heaven's sakes, bring the best and the most faithful Catholics you can, people who would give their right arm to be able to meet His Holiness. Megyn, I'm not Catholic, but I have great respect for the Catholic Church and for the Pope. And when he comes to America, it's only fitting that we put out the very best kind of welcome possible. And I'm not sure that inviting people who are openly at odds with the Vatican, who have criticized the Pope for his positions and the Church's positions, the doctrinal positions on abortion and on euthanasia, why do you put them in the very likely position where they would be photographed with him and make it a very embarrassing moment?
Is it an opportunity to expose the Pope and those who surround him with another point of view?
Well, if it is, that's not the appropriate place for that. If the president wants to host a summit and the Pope agrees to come to such a summit so they can sit down and talk. But, you know, I'm not sure that President Obama needs to school and lecture Pope Francis on Catholic doctrine and why he's wrong. Last time I checked, it's the Pope who's supposed to lecture Christians, not the other way around. So unless Obama now has decided that he really has a greater depth of theology and a better understanding of Scripture than the Pope himself. And boy, I mean, we've for a long time thought that Obama had a pretty high opinion of himself, but this would really, really take it to a whole new level.
Let me switch gears with you right now, because we began the show tonight talking about Governor Walker announcing that he is out of this race, which stunned a lot of people. Did it stun you?
In many ways it did. I certainly think the timing of it. And I said this after Rick Perry made his exit. I happened to be in St. Louis and spoke right after he did, so I saw him immediately after. And there's something that I can say that not many people truly understand, because not that many people have run for president and ever had to get out. I have. Let me tell you this. The only thing harder than getting into a presidential race is getting out of one. It is harder to stop than it is to start.
What do you make of his comments?
Very difficult
what do you
and
make of his
emotional
comments and Governor Perry's comments on the way out that Donald Trump is part of the reason they're leaving, and that they hope other candidates will get out so that he can that the front runner right now will be challenged and they hope removed?
Look, we have a primary. The way you get out is that you get beat, you run out of money. But, you know, I don't have any intentions, just in case you wanted to know, that I'm going to announce that I'm getting out. I'm staying in.
I feel like the other governors. It wasn't me.
But, you know, Megyn, if all the others would like to drop out and endorse me, I would be very, very happy about that.
You've teed up my next guest perfectly. I'll ask him for you. Governor Huckabee, great to see you.
Thanks, Megyn.
Here with more, Republican presidential candidate Governor Christie. No is probably the answer.
Well, for me to get out and endorse Mike? Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Sorry, Mike. Not going to happen tonight.
Let's start with that, though, because, I mean, Governor Walker, who seems to be pretty beloved by most of the other candidates, just in terms of what he's done in his state and so on, leaves by saying, I'm going because I want to make room for somebody who can really take on this front runner and remove him. Do you agree with that?
Listen, I've known Scott for a long time. I campaigned for him in 2010 when he ran the first time, in 12 during the recall, and I was chairman of the RGA during 14 and when he had a really tough re-elect. I have a world of respect for him. He's a great guy, and he and Tonette are personal friends to me and Mary Pat. So, whatever he said today, those were Scott's reasons for getting out, and I respect him for what he said tonight and for what he did during the campaign and what he's done during his governorship. But I don't get into this horse race stuff. It's like, it's too early.
But it's not even horse race. What he was trying to say was that he seemed to be suggesting there's a danger in the Republican field right now, in his view, the ideas of the front runner and so on, and that he thinks those who are outside of that sort of category need to step down if you have no real chance and let the person who's got the best chance take him on.
Listen, I don't share his view. I don't think there's anything dangerous going on. I think, fact is we're having a competition. And the competition of ideas and personalities and approach and vision will be what will determine this. And that's what I was trying to say in the debate the other night. There's too much talk about the people on the stage. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the people at home in the audience who are the ones really concerned.
Well, that was a big moment, and it did push up. I mean, I don't know if it was that one, but your numbers went up some. They were down 2. They were down 1 in another poll. Now they're up 3. So you're polling at 3% in the latest CNN poll. But again, he's down, but he's still at 24%. Fiorina, she's 15. Carson, 14. Were you surprised it wasn't higher?
No. Listen, there's 11 people on the stage. So, people are going to notice different people at different times. No, not the least bit concerned about it.
I'm being myself. Is that your aim now, though, to speak directly to the people, to try to get to what they want to hear as opposed to all the nonsense with the back and forth and the candidates?
Well, it became my theme when I sat and listened to Donald and Carly bickering with each other about who made more money and who lost more money. While the guy at home on his couch is, a 55-year-old construction worker who doesn't have a job, he doesn't want to hear about how much money they've made or lost.
In their defense, the moderator asked them about their history. You being kind of mean there.
No, they went on and on and on. You can give an answer, and they were going back and forth about it. And enough already about them. Enough about them. Let's talk about the people who really matter and what you're going to do for this country's future. Mm-hmm. That's what really matters.
You feel like we haven't even gotten to that point of this campaign?
Well, it's been hard to get to that point because it's been consumed by a lot of this other conversation, which I think is part of what Scott may have been referring to today in the talk that he gave. And so I'm going to continue to force us to talk about the issues. That's why I brought up entitlement reform and nobody else has. And I talked about it again at the debate, the way we did in the debate that you moderated. I'm going to talk about these issues, and people care about those things. They don't care about how much money Donald's made, how much money Carly lost at HP or made in her golden parachute, or any of those things. They don't care. What they care about is what's going to happen to my children. Are they really? That's why I asked that question at the beginning, Megan. I asked them to turn the cameras to the audience and asked them to raise their hands. How many of them thought that their children are going to be better off than they are?
You're lucky they did it. Would have been very embarrassing if they had ignored you.
Well, it would have been embarrassing, wouldn't it? But you know me, I'm a risk taker.
You are.
Huge risk taker.
Anything could happen right now. Luke, he takes orders from no man.
It doesn't look like he does.
I look at those guns.
I mean, he's got big guns there.
I dare you to start bossing around.
I'm not bossing him around. Only you can boss Luke around, not me.
My power.
Not me. But I'm a risk taker. You know that. We're going to keep taking risks. Here I am on the Kelly file.
On the set, too, which is very dangerous.
On set,
Anything can happen. You get out of line, boom, boom.
Bang. I can't wait for that.
I have some Jersey in me, too, Governor.
I know you do.
Great to see you.